Titillating Tuesday. Does it make you laugh? Does it make you laugh?
Welcome to Titillating Tuesday, 20th of December 2022. What's been occupying my mind for this week, the concept of fake and fraudulent versus the real thing. I'll give you an example here. Look, here's a £10 note, right? But that's a £10 note too. Yeah, I know I made this one, but because I say it's a £10 note, that's a £10 note. Look, it's around the same shape. Yeah, and it's plastic. It's just a plastic bag with writing on it. So this has just as much right of being called a £10 as that one does. Yeah, so if I was to do that when paying someone, would you say that I'm fraudulent? But why? Because look, I could take this, yeah, let's say someone needed a piece of plastic really bad, yeah, and they just didn't have time to get to the nearest place to get one, and you had it, and they had £10 in their pocket. You say, okay, you can have this for £10. That has that kind of value. So is it counterfeit really? Yeah, why can't we just treat it the same as we'll do a £10? Yeah, that's the thing about fraudulent reasoning. It's an error in reasoning. The reason being, to see this one as currency, you have to have a system for it. But if you try to fit it in with something else, then that becomes fraudulent, because these are two different things. You can say that this is that, but they clearly, if somebody tried to pay you in that, you're gonna say that they're fraudulent. Yeah, so, but in some respects you can see this as currency, because if you're bartering, somebody might need pieces of plastic and they'll pay you like maybe 5 pence, 10 pence, so it's got some monetary value as well. You know, so in terms of when it becomes fraud is when you mix it with something that is supposed to be, but it's not really. But if you develop a system for this, like a barter system, then you can use it that way, but you can't use it the same way, because that becomes fraudulent. It's fraudulent to that system as well, where you can use that. Yeah. So you need to develop two different systems when you have two things which you're telling us are the same, and they clearly are not. Yeah, you can't mix them up like that. If you could just separate them, and can sometimes you might wanna deal with things in plastic. You never know. There's situations that can turn up, but there's no way you're gonna talk to someone who's expecting that and give them that. There's no way you're doing that without getting a slap. So whenever you find that you've convinced yourself that one thing is something else that's already there, if you could just do that in a separate system, or develop a separate system where you do that so that it doesn't look fraudulent. Otherwise it looks fraudulent. Yes. That's my take on counterfeiting and fraud. It just depends on how you use it and what system you're on. Yeah, you can't mix the two if they're supposed to do the same thing, but they're different really. Yeah, you know. Today's joke. Swiftly moving on, since we're being correct and everything. If a UAP is called a weather balloon, what's an ET called? A weatherman. But it's not a weatherman, it's a weatherman. You get me? Yeah, where does he get these jokes? I don't know. I just write them. It just come like that, you know. Because like, I'm not gonna think about something like that and not make fun of it. I am the original cynic. I think I got cinnamon in my mouth. What was I eating, Mario? Yeah, some kind of bread or scone or something. Yeah, yeah, that's interesting actually. I can't remember what I just ate caused that. I might have eaten a couple of hours earlier than that. Anyway, yeah, let me investigate that. Anyway, it's been Titillating Tuesday, 20th of December 2022. Out.
Titillating Tuesdays. Does it make you laugh? Does it make you laugh?
Like, subscribe, share.